What was that?
Hi, Lucas. Down
So first, on behalf of the zoning hearing board, I'd like to make an announcement that the zoning hearing board met in advance of the hearing for deliberations on a pending appeal.
All right. Welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Bethlehem Zoning Board. My name is Peter Schneck, and I'll be serving as chairman this evening. Serving tonight along with me is Paige Van Wart, Sharon Wiles-Young, Danielle Joseph, and Lucas Walk. Our zoning officer and tonight's secretary is Dave Taylor. Our solicitor tonight is attorney Steve Bowell. Our stenographer tonight is Moira Evans. At this time, if anybody in the audience plans to speak or ask questions, please stand and be sworn in.
You guys are going to
Yeah, so we encourage anyone who thinks they may speak on any matter tonight, just in case, we encourage you to stand and be sworn in.
Raise your right hand. You do swear or affirm that the testimony which you shall give in the matter now before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You do so swear or affirm?
I do.
Swear and affirm. Yep.
All right, so we're going to reverse the order of the appeal. So the first one up tonight is 1423 Maple Street. And can you read the facts of the
1423 Maple Street, the appeal of Jesse Chupella and Tom Kramer on behalf of Indigo Investments, LLC, appeal on an interpretation of the zoning officer with regard to the requirements of a previous decision rendered by the zoning hearing board on September 17th, 2025. Sections 1324.01A and C, 1325.05, 1325.06, 1325.11A and B, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations.
And before we get started, can you guys confirm when the property was posted?
Property was posted when the placards were made available, and confirmation was sent to Mr. Taylor and the zoning office, I believe around the 18th, if not before then. Do you remember receiving the email with the photos? Mr.
I
Taylor?
did, but I don't have
Yeah.
it pulled up.
Um,
But I can certainly supply that.
was
to
the
Attorney
18th that
Taylor. It
was posted.
All right, you can proceed.
Thank you. Good evening. Victor Scamilio here on behalf of the applicant Indigo Investments. And just to let everyone know, let me explain what we're not here for. We're not here asking for additional dimensional relief. We're not here asking for additional relief from the zoning decision that was provided at the end of October. We have a question regarding the interpretation and the determination from the zoning officer regarding the style of house that we have proposed. And it's truly more of an aesthetic issue and not a structural or component issue, in the sense that we are not changing the number of units. We're not changing that it's going to have the appearance of a single family home. If you look at our application, Exhibit 2 is the photo or the rendering that was provided for the decision that was provided on October 31st, 2025. Dave, would you be able to go to that
Sorry.
exhibit?
Say that again?
Exhibit 2 in the application. This is what was presented to the board for the decision of October 2025. There was testimony deduced from my client that this is exactly how it would be constructed. However, you're going to hear tonight, when they got onto the field with engineering, the roof line structure became an impediment, and they have submitted what is marked as Exhibit 3 as the rendering of what can be located on the site. Again, still only a 2-unit, the first floor dedicated to one unit, the second floor dedicated to the other. That front door will operate for access to one of the units. There'll be a side door to access to the other unit. But as you can see, the roof line is different. The front wall is different. Also, the footprint of the units is approximately the same as what was presented in the last hearing. The square footage is approximately the same. And so because of the determination of it being exactly as what was presented in the prior exhibit 2 to the application, we're here tonight to seek relief to allow the construction of what is presented in exhibit 3. For the board's understanding as to where this is, this application is in the process of land development. It has been engineered that this structure, the one exhibit 3, can be located on the property with the dimensional relief that was previously awarded by this board. So with that, I would call Mr. Chapella. Sir, please state your name for the record.
It's Jesse Chapella, Chupella.
And you are a member and principal of Indigo Investments?
Yes,
Okay. And you were the witness who testified previously that exhibit number 2 to our application,
I am.
when asked about could it be constructed exactly as it reflects in exhibit 2, that was your testimony, correct?
Correct, and it was our intention at the time.
And then what happened when you got delved more into the engineering and land development?
The dimensions of the property were prohibitive. I mean, we would have had to bring that roof up so high in order to run it from front to back that architecturally made a lot more sense to make the changes we did. You know, the intention was not to hoodwink the zoning board.
And then exhibit 3 is what you are able to construct
Correct.
on this property. And if I look at the 2, there are similarities. The facade, in other words, the siding or whatever material you have will be the same.
We made every effort to make it as close to what was originally presented.
The first floor will have some portion of it dedicated to stone
Correct.
on the bottom. It'll have a full porch,
Correct.
a single entry door on the front, similar number of windows, maybe just one larger window on the first floor instead of 2 on the left side, 1 on the right, and the same up. The second floor will have 4 windows
Correct.
up top. And you've attempted to have a similar roof line if we talk about the peaks as to what you had in exhibit 2.
Yes.
Okay. You're in the stages of the land development process now.
Yes.
And so you've had the project engineered for construction,
Correct.
and you are able to construct what you have here in exhibit 3 on the property in the dimensions that were afforded in the last zoning hearing.
Yes, it's my understanding we submitted the architecturals along with everything else. Everything's already been reviewed. We're down to our last comment here, which is this zoning issue here with the change in the facade.
And you understand that because of the language used at the last hearing,
Yes.
that's why you have to be back here asking for this relief.
Yes.
And would you characterize this as an architecturally similar rendering as to what you presented at the first zoning hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And with that, we would seek the relief of the board to allow this to go forward with the plan or the rendering that's put forth in Exhibit 3. I'd be available, clients available for any questions the board may have.
Victor, one just housekeeping item. Can I mark as zoning hearing board 1 the prior decision, the October
Yes.
31st zoning decision?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And Mr. Taylor conveyed that to me earlier that he was going to present that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, we would just, we would like that in the record. Dave, is the city presenting evidence on this, or?
No, the city's not really taking a position on it other than my opinion with the wording in the prior decision was fairly specific.
So any questions from the board?
Yeah, I just want a clarification of the new rendering, the square footage for the 2 units is the same?
It's very close.
Very close.
It's
have the
approximately the same. It actually may render a couple feet more for each unit.
Okay.
What's a couple? Oh, there'll be time for questions to the audience later.
Sure.
Any other questions? So, any questions to the board?
I have a couple. So when I'm looking at Exhibit 2 versus Exhibit 3, have you reoriented the house so it looks like it was wider in the first rendering, narrow, and it's going back farther in the second?
We haven't reoriented at all. The problem is the first rendering was basically something we took off the internet, so it really wasn't done by the architect to fit that size. So that was
So it wasn't engineered for the lot, but
Correct,
what you
yeah,
have in
the-
Exhibit 3 is engineered for the lot?
yes.
That gives me pause. But my second question is the standing seam. We can't see the roof now because of the way it's angled. Is it also going to be a standing seam roof on the top?
No.
It's going to be shingled?
Yes.
That's all my questions for right now.
You said you're seeking no other dimensional variance.
Correct.
Is the footprint the same?
It is.
So to the people's point in the back, the square footage gained is due to the configuration, not the footprint.
Yes.
Right.
The stairway.
What was submitted at the earlier hearing, our site plan, that building envelope will remain the same. And I think they've determined that the square footage for each unit is 1584 for each unit.
So back last year, we granted a dimensional variance. Could you just refresh my memory on that one?
Sure. The decision granted dimensional relief.
From section 130601A4 to place a 2-family detached dwelling on a proposed lot with less than the required lot width, 60 feet required, 42.6 feet proposed. So it was a lot width variance that was granted.
And so there's no request to change that relief, that dimensional relief that was awarded. It's just the style and facade of the house that's being requested.
I didn't vote on the first one, so I feel like I shouldn't.
I mean,
What?
Lucas was saying that he didn't vote on the first one, but it's
It doesn't matter. No. There's an entirely separate application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
So the square footage in the units, which is done not through the expansion of the footprint, but through, I think, Pete, the way you phrased it was the reconfiguration of the building.
Correct.
What is the difference in the square footage of the units?
I'm looking for that now. I'm sorry.
When we testified at the first hearing, the first floor was I'll use the language from the decision itself. It's paragraph 13, was roughly 1370 square feet, and the second floor roughly 1502 square feet. So this changes to approximately 1584 per floor, per unit. It does not change the number of bedrooms, doesn't change any of that with this request.
And what is the reasoning again that you can't keep it similar to the first one? You said that you would have to build it higher, like that the roof would come up higher.
Because of the depth of the property, yeah, the peak of the roof would have to be much, much higher.
Gotcha.
Would that be in violation of the zoning ordinance on the height, or?
I never got an exact number on that, so.
I don't think it was engineered for that. And when you look at that rendering, I think there was the hope that could be submitted, that could be constructed, but that rendering is more applicable to a squarer lot or one where the length is the longer dimension than the depth. So with this being a rectangular building envelope, the Exhibit 3 presents the better option for construction and the feasible option for construction, because with that one, as my client said, it'll adjust the height of the building in disproportion to what's around it in the neighborhood.
When we had originally approved number 2, we had approved it to build exactly as it was shown. I mean, I'm not one to really dicker over aesthetics, but you showed a standing seam roof on both, and that to me is good aesthetics. Whereas having shingle on top, or shake on top, whatever you call it, on top, and a different roof on the porch, without any good reason. Just because you're changing the orientation of the building doesn't mean you have to change the style. Not having the roofs match now.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. It's just that it would almost, I don't want to say waste of resources, but to spend that much money on a roof that's really not seen from the front just didn't.
But it's seen by your neighbors on the angles when they look at it, anyways, that I just think that's a little switcheroo there. And I guess I just thought that when you came to the zoning hearing board for dimensional relief, that the rendering would not have been pulled off the internet, that it really would have come from a site analysis and a site-specific building plan that was thoughtful to the neighborhood.
Well, I think we tried to keep with the spirit of that, but we didn't spend the money on architecturals without having the approval in hand first either, because this still could have went a few different directions at that point. So.
Okay.
So the access to the second unit is on the side,
Yes.
and is there a walkway around there, or
There is. There's a
Okay.
walkway on the right side to the back where the parking is.
And I believe that was an item of discussion when we were here before,
Yes.
and that's going to remain the same.
same?
Audience?
Any questions from the audience? Are we good? You guys good? Any questions from the audience? Now, these are questions. Yeah. All right. Were you sworn in? Did you swear? All right. So you need to come up to the podium.
And please identify yourself by name and address.
Hi, I'm Lisa Gastoni. I live right across the street at 1422 Maple. So I'm here today because I understand there was a change.
Microphone, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Speak into the microphone.
Oh, into microphone. Okay. I'm at 1422 Maple Street, and I had no problem with the apartments being put in there. However, this past year, a couple months, there has been a tenant in the current building that's already there that he is renting out.
Question for it's
It's-
not questions for the board. It's not statements. Do you have any questions for this witness?
I don't have questions as
Yeah,
of
so
right now.
for everyone's benefit, we're doing this in 2 stages. What's going to happen right now is if you have cross-examination questions for him,
Oh, okay.
ask cross-examination questions for him.
All right.
Where we're done that, members of the public will have a chance to make statements.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
I'm
So
not trying to
the
cut you
question,
off.
then I do have a question. So what did it change the parking situation in the back of the building with the size difference?
No.
Because the parking is becoming a difficult situation with just even the one tenant there with 3 vehicles. Sometimes 4. And they're business vehicles, not personal cars. So you're adding 2 more apartments. What's the difference then on parking? Is it not going to be, not going to be any for the neighborhood?
When we add the apartment, we're going to add 4
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You pull the
You
mic
need to speak.
closer.
When we add the apartments, we're going to add 4 parking spaces.
Sure,
as part of
there's
the plan.
parking for the tenants that's there now and he's not using it.
So remember, these are questions.
Okay.
And this particular one, they're not.
Is there going to be
Was
any?
there any zoning relief for parking in the first application?
No.
Because we had the understanding of what was going on. But right now, the situation is not that.
Okay. You're-
Okay? Thank you.
Sir, Just do me a favor, pull the microphone as close to them as you can.
Yeah.
Hi, I really just am here to make a statement because I live catty corner across
So
the street.
statements can come later.
We promise you. So what's going to happen is when he's done, this is his testimony right now. It's cross-examination.
Okay, my cross was, if you're moving the structure back.
Sorry, can you give me your name, please?
Oh, sorry, Debbie Yakel. I'm at 1412 Maple Street, across the street, catty corner. I've lived there over 40 some years with my husband. Taxpayers, I lived in Bethlehem my whole life. I knew the owner that you're renting that house to, and he had the whole land for many years. And I know it's a money business. It's all about money. I'm no one. I know no one. So I'm just saying that we're just upset over this. I understand you're trying to make money. Yeah, it's a nice looking house, but what I was told is what you rendered for pictures on our block. You only took the pictures across the street where Lisa lives and a couple other homes. My house is 50 by 120. The house next to me is over 100 by something. So the 25 thing.
Ma'am, I'm not really trying to be difficult.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
No, you're going to
Okay.
sit down. He's
Okay.
going to say that he's done with this witness.
Okay,
And then you can come up and you can say
Okay.
whatever statement you want to make relative to that.
okay.
Right now, we're seeking questions for the witness.
Okay, well, the question was, are you taking parking spaces away from the back if you moved it back? And you're saying no,
And-
but how aren't you?
That building envelope, that what was presented, that's being shown here, is going to remain the same.
Okay,
The
and
parking
how
is-
close are you to the property with the young couple that just moved in within a year that has those trees? How far is that house compared to those trees?
Are you talking about the home to the left? of the
Not
lot?
your home, the other home, where the trees are, that's the line.
So this drawing shows the dimension between the building envelope and the property line, which is
How many feet?
not a relief that's being sought or was needed.
Because I was told when I had my addition, I had to be 6 feet away from my neighbor.
Okay, I think you asked their question.
Okay.
They've answered the question. You can come back and make your statement. Okay.
Okay, but I didn't get an answer, but okay.
They testified that the parking remains identical to what was there on the previous plan.
I just wanted to know what the I know we're not getting anywhere.
Any other questions? All right. I guess at this time we'll take statements.
Now we would like, if you want to make a statement, we weren't lying. You can laugh, but I mean, it's the way this process works.
No, you go first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am sorry about that.
Raise your hand and be sworn in, Ray.
Okay, Lisa Gastoni again, 1422 Maple. So again, my statement is the fact that this current tenant on the other building that's not being, that the building that is there is now there with 3 vehicles, 2 that are a business vehicle or 2 vans and a truck that he owns personally, I assume. Sometimes he parks in the empty lot that's there. However, he works with his coworkers. They come and go every morning. They switch cars, they change things. So right there, you're already taking 3 parking spaces, which I don't know where they would park anyway, if you're going to have 2 additional tenants in that new building with that 3 vehicles on that person's property in front of their house, which is all our properties in front of all our houses, which it could be a problem, especially when you have 2 more tenants coming in. And then unless they decide to park there, then why don't you have parking for the house that's there?
We understand.
They do have a garage, but I don't know why he's not using it. So that's my concern. Plus the trees that are in front of the house too is another concern because they're huge. They're sycamores, I think, or something, and they're just ready to fall down for the next wind to come down, and they're going to be coming towards my side of the street. So if something can be done with the trees, I'd appreciate that as well. But I know it's done. I mean, I didn't have a problem until this tenant came in with two vans and a truck, and now they all just sit in front of the house. At least he has a job. So just wanting to make sure that you watch what tenants come in. Thank you.
Any other statements?
It's just, if you think of it, if you lived for 40 something years and in a quiet neighborhood, sorry, I get emotional, a quiet neighborhood, my husband is ill, so he couldn't be here. And I understand you want to make money. I know that's what it is in life, to make money in life. But like Lisa said, you have a tenant that has sometimes 4 vehicles parked out front. I don't know how that's going to work. My husband and I, we all respect each other's property. We don't park in front of anybody's house. Lisa has a narrow house, and so do a few others. Ray doesn't, and I don't. But we respect each other, especially in snow. When we're shoveling, we help each other. This block we've been neighbors for very long, most of them. We have a couple young people, sweethearts, don't bother. They're just very sweet people. We have 2, a girl and a guy that are young. They're independent. They own their own homes and they work and they're quiet. And I'm not saying you can't have parties and stuff, but I'm saying it's a good neighborhood. We brought my daughter up there. We never had a problem. She moved away, got married, but still lives in Bethlehem. I just feel taxpayers should have a right maybe to voice, although I understand it really doesn't mean anything, but just think, if it was you, how would you feel? That's all I'm saying. And don't have like a lot of money, like to move somewhere, or I don't know. I'm just expressing my thoughts. That's all. And I know some of them think the same way I do. They just feel coming here was sort of a waste of time, but I wanted to come.
Oh, we appreciate your coming.
Okay.
We-
Thank you.
Let us express that.
We don't ever want you to feel that it's a waste of time. We do earnestly listen to you. I mean, we have to consider things in regards to the zoning ordinance. And we really appreciate that you care about your community and come out here, and especially when it's this hot in here. So thank you.
And earlier we weren't cutting you off. It was, yeah.
All right. Any other comments?
So Victor, I just, for the board's benefit, because the relief is a little unusual. So there was a prior condition imposed by the board in the October 31st decision. Are you seeking modification of that condition or interpretation?
Yes, that's where it came in. I had layers of alternate relief because Mr. Taylor and I spoke about it after receiving his determination, and it's really either an appeal of his determination or clarification of the condition that's in the ordinance to allow, or in the ordinance, I apologize, in the decision to permit the substitution of the rendering as we, in our application Exhibit 3, for what was submitted as Exhibit 2 in our application.
So it's an appeal, or it's an appeal or a change of the condition.
Change of the condition. And I understand, and I know my clients have taken into, have heard the concerns of the neighbors. The relief we're seeking now doesn't change the true substantive relief that was awarded back in October. None of the comments or questions that were raised by the neighbors raise any concern regarding the change in the style or facade and architecture of the unit. I think they had questions if that would change the parking. It doesn't. It doesn't. The architecture change keeps down that footprint and keeps I would submit, a very substantially similar type of construction and facade for the public. And I would move my application and the attached exhibits into evidence.
And they'll be a minute.
All right. This time we'll go off the record.
You're back.
All right, so we're back on.
Yes.
So the board has asked me to articulate a motion for action. The board would like to consider a motion to grant the relief as requested, subject to the further modification of the condition that the full roof to be constructed on the structure will be a standing seam roof consistent as shown on the drawings, and the portion of the drawings. Is that acceptable to the applicant?
It is.
And Dave, can you call the roll?
Do we need a
Make a
second?
motion?
Second.
Oh, sorry. I'm so anxious because I'm so hot. Let's go.
Second.
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Ms. Wiles Young,
Yes.
Ms. Joseph,
Yes.
Dr. Van Wert,
Yes.
Mr. Walk.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
So for the neighbors, the board wants me to articulate something. Where we were here tonight on an extremely narrow issue. We were here tonight relating to the relief that had been granted last time relative to the width of the lot and a condition that had been imposed relative to the aesthetics. The board wants you to know that they do appreciate you coming out and articulating comments relative to items such as parking and the impact it'll have on the neighbors. But the board was not here tonight to hear relief relative to that. They would encourage you to continue to have a dialogue with the developer and or the city relative to those types of issues. It's just, it is not within the board's mandate to hear that evidence tonight. Okay?
Who do we talk to? Yeah, in the city.
Okay. David,
Meeting with him?
Again, we understood, we talked about it prior to being done, and then all of a sudden some guy comes in with.
so again, I mean,
All right, well, you gave your little instances when I'm telling you what I think.
okay. So
Who do we talk to? They
the,
knew the situation.
so what I'll tell you is they're here. If you want to talk to them about the parking of their current tenant, we encourage you to talk to them. If you have a concern about other zoning on the property, we encourage you to talk to Mr. Taylor.
Is this going back on the planning commission, in front of the planning commission again?
I don't believe so.
Well, let's, the board has another hearing. Let's have that conversation. You should reach out to Mr. Taylor to find out what other hearings or proceedings there will be. We're not here for parking tonight, is all we want to say. Okay? David Taylor, all right?
Yes.
All right? Right here.
Here, I am the zoning officer. That's okay. I apologize. I'm the zoning officer, and yeah, I'm full-time employed by the city, and I will be in the office tomorrow and next week as well.
Did you make an appointment with you?
You can call or email. I can.
Okay?
Do we have a card? Do we have a card?
I'm not sure I have one with me.
If you go on the city's website, zoning officer, he's not a hard guy to find, we promise.
Okay, but you said we should talk to them.
If you have concerns about their
ahead.
tenant, they're the people to talk to.
there.
They're right up there.
It's, okay, so we're done with that here and we're moving on to the next one.
All right, thank
However,
you.
however, I will ask that the doors are open to get circulation in here. So if you guys are going to have a conversation, step outside the building, please.
Oh, okay. Right.
That was for the simple one?
I know, it always happens. You jinxed yourself.
It's okay.
That's
Thank
the
you.
short one, man. I'm losing 6 pounds tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the first time I didn't wear a jacket. I'm happy.
All right. Next appeal is 1431 Monocacy Street. Mr. Taylor, can you read the facts of the appeal?
1431 Monocacy Street, the appeal of Linda Villani and Davin Vigas for 4-dimensional variances to permit a subdivision of an existing single-family detached dwelling lot. 8,000 square foot minimum lot area required, 3,900 square foot proposed, 75-foot lot width required, 30-foot proposed, 20-foot front yard setback required, 14-foot proposed, and a 25% maximum building coverage allowed, 31% proposed. Sections 1306-01A2, 1325.06, and all associated variances, special exceptions, and interpretations.
And before you get started, can you confirm when the property was posted?
Property was posted on May 18th. Our Exhibit 1 is a collage of the 4 photos showing the posting.
All right, you can proceed.
Thank you. I'm here on behalf of Victor Scamilio, here on behalf of the applicant and the owners of 1431 Monocacy Street. There is one, when the engineering progressed and there was a determination and confirmation of boundaries, I want to make this board aware that there was a revelation that the pins that were used were off a little bit. And if you look at the existing property, there's going to be an additional request for 6 inches of dimensional relief. We would submit that that is a de minimis request. I did approach this with Mr. Taylor before he suggested I present it to the board tonight.
So you're seeking to amend your application to include that?
Yes,
relief as
please.
stated. And for the board's benefit, the board, that it was properly advertised. There's no concern from a legal perspective relative to that. The board's fully in your discretion to allow them to do
And
that.
you'll be covering where the 6 inches?
Yes,
All right.
we'll have our engineer here tonight that'll show you exactly where that is. So we're here tonight on 1431 Monocacy Street. You're going to hear tonight, just by way of a little opening, this property is in the RS district. It is a block away from Moravian University, and I apologize if I call it Moravian College. Sometimes it's hard to break old habits. This is approximately a block away from Moravian. I'm going to submit an anomaly street in a district that is surrounded by institutional zoning and RT zoning when you look at the map. If you look at the map that Mr. Taylor has up here, the gold, I'll use that color, is the RS district. The blue is the institutional. The dark gold or brown is the RT. And so this is a street that kind of sits as a one-off in this RS district. You're also going to hear a little bit about the history of this lot. This lot was developed, and you'll see the original city block map, for dense, narrow development. And when you see the property in question and how it's laid out, you'll see it was designed for development into how we have it presented tonight. Well, you'll also hear about the surrounding properties that in the RS. This is a neighborhood that has twin homes, multi-family dwellings, parking lots, and other things that are coordinate with the institutional section that's across the street, and the style of the neighborhood. So with that, I think our first witness that we're going to call is Mr. Renko, our engineer. And Mr. Taylor, I believe our site plan is Exhibit 2. So I'm gonna just switch the job. And we have, I see there are members of the public, if they'd like to see an exhibit packet, I have extras if they want to see it. Okay. So what's in front of us on the board and the screen and in the exhibit packet, Exhibit 2, is a site plan. Sir, please state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Renko.
And what do you do by occupation, sir?
I'm a civil engineer,
And how long have you been a civil engineer?
20 years.
And have you testified before other zoning hearing boards in the past?
I have.
Have you testified before this zoning hearing board in the past?
I have.
Have you been admitted as an expert
I have.
in engineering
Yes.
in the past? Based on his prior appearance before you as an expert, I would seek to qualify him or move him in as an expert in civil engineering.
board accepts him as an expert in civil engineering.
Mr. Renko, you're familiar with the property that's now known as 1431 Monocacy Street.
Yes.
What were you asked to do for this project?
Originally, I was asked to help a gentleman that I work for locate the pins on the property, which didn't involve a full topographic survey or it was really just limited to boundary work. So the way that we do that is we went out with a GPS unit. We looked for some monumentation. There was limited. We found 2 on this property, and then we found a few on the neighbors along in Monocacy Street, both up and down the street. We found some of their front corners. So the only way to you can't really figure out a boundary with that. So we ended up having to shoot some curb lines and edge of pave, and it turned into be a lot more than what we were told it was going to be. We went back to the computer, plotted out some deeds, got the city block plans. Kerry, who I work with, he's a surveyor. He put together this boundary, and he and I went back and he set 2 of the missing pins. When we were out originally with the GPS, he only took shots on the front or on the side of the house. It's depicted. It's about existing house. It's about a foot off the property line. So we didn't technically have the other side of the house. So then I was sort of asked, hey, is there a way to possibly subdivide this lot? So the way that we thought was, we all believed that would be most fair would be to sort of cut it right in half. And to do that, you end up with, it's a 60-foot wide lot right now. So you'd end up with given both properties a 30-foot wide lot, super even. Where the house, we did an offset of the house, or I think we maybe used an aerial. It looked like that property line would fall right where we wanted it, and we would hit the 8-foot requirement or 8-foot requirement. However, from the existing house. However, I went back out for the applicant tonight because they wanted to bring a much more refined plan to this, so we knew exactly what sort of relief we needed. So when I went back out, I actually shot, all along the actual facade of that house, and it's almost something that wouldn't be noticeable. But if you look at the existing dwelling is the gray one on top, and if you look at the back corner of the house from the 8-foot or that demarcation, that 8-foot property setback, I'm 0.3 feet off, so that's about 4 inches, and the house isn't completely parallel with that line. So as you move towards the front, it gets a little bit worse, and the worst case scenario is half a foot, which is 6 inches. So I'm basically that house is already in the other setback, but by creating this subdivision, I'm essentially creating a 6-inch another nonconformity. So it's something that I think technically we need to ask for. So that's the history of that.
Okay. Now tell me about the proposed division and construction in what we'll call lot 2, proposed lot 2 that's on your plan.
So again, proposed lot 2 would just be to cut the lot in half, construct a single family home to the minimum standard that the applicant is familiar with building, which is a 22-foot wide unit. The side yard setbacks, are required to be 8 feet. We don't have that. We'd only have about 4 feet. The rear yard property setback is 35 feet, which we have more than that. We were able to provide off-street parking in the rear of the building off of Geisinger Street. The front yard setback in this district is 25 feet. The existing house is 14 feet off the property line. So I made the bad assumption of assuming that we would be able to do it like a front yard average and at least build up to that. But since then, the applicant has asked me to move the house further away and actually comply with the 25-foot front yard. So that's one variance I don't think we would need if the applicant wishes to keep it as it's depicted tonight.
What other, we have here regarding the lot impervious coverage, we're okay. We do not need relief for, correct?
For the impervious coverage, we don't need relief, but we're at 31% for the building coverage.
And what is the permitted building coverage?
I believe 25.
Okay. So those are the dimensional relief that variances that are needed for construction of the property.
And I didn't say the lot area is also, we don't meet the minimum lot area. The minimum lot area for this district is 8,000 square feet. Once we were already deficient, non-conforming. We were 7,800 for the entire property, and each of these houses, if it were to be subdivided, would now be 3,900.
Okay. Now, if we move to Exhibit 3, which is the elevations. The first page there is the house that could be built on this lot.
Yeah, so this applicant was adamant that we didn't want to come here unprepared. So the site plan that I did actually is that exact unit with the actual, there's contour lines. So that's exactly how the proposed grading would actually look to build that house with a semi-partial daylight basement. Yeah, and the porch and the steps. Yeah,
Okay.
the exact step count, everything is correct. This is truly exactly how they would have to build this unit.
And so the rendering that we have on Exhibit 3 would fit into the building envelope that's noted on the site plan on Exhibit 2.
Exactly.
Okay. And the second page of Exhibit 3 is the floor plan layout. And this would be each of the floors of the rendering that we have on the first page of Exhibit 3, correct?
Yeah, maybe the applicant should talk about the architectural, so.
Okay.
But the architectural I did use as a footprint though. So that architectural drawing fits in this footprint.
Okay. Any other dimensional relief that is needed?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I have no other questions of Mr. Renko.
Any questions from members of the board?
Can you give me a little bit of history of this lot? It used to be 2 lots. How did it come to be 1? You know, maybe you might not know that. Maybe
yeah,
that's for the next.
Maybe the applicant
witness.
could answer that better than I
The
can.
Okay.
realtor will
Yeah,
explain
okay, that's fine.
the genesis of that.
All right. Any questions from a member of the audience?
I wasn't sworn in, so I'm going to ask her.
We can swear you in now.
Yeah,
Can you please swear
Yeah.
me in?
You stand up.
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand, please. You do swear or affirm that the testimony which you shall give in the matter now before this board shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You do so swear or affirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And sir, to be clear, this is just if you have any factual questions for this witness.
My factual.
Sir, come up here to the microphone. Introduce yourself by name with your address, please.
My name is Derek Morris. I live 1420 Monocacy, directly from the house right there. The question is, right down the block, they built something similar to that.
You're asking him.
Yes, right down the block from they built a house similar in between 2 houses. Now, the issue has been the person up there, people are having issue with parking. One guy got told, because where we live, you have to pay for your parking. If not, the city would ticket you and then they would take it. The issue that we have there was that the previous owner, the man that passed away, a long time ago, he had the opportunity to do something similar. He was dead against that. The neighborhood that we live in is very quiet. We got the Moravian people, but it's a very quiet neighborhood. Everybody knows each other. Parking has never been an issue. But lately, since they had these new people come in, a lot of the people that they rent these new people are not conforming to the way it used to be.
I don't want to cut you off, but this is for questions, not
Oh yeah,
statements.
my issue is it seemed like it's going to get condensed compared to the openness the way it is right now. Like I was saying to the people down the block, if you ever look down it, They built the house in between two.
Are you able to phrase this in a question?
Yeah, the issue is we like the way it is. We like the openness. That lot that they want to build in, I actually cut for the man that died. The owner passed away, but I actually cut it. I've been there almost 16 years. Like the last people say, we are familiar. We know each other.
Again, I'm searching for a question.
Yeah, the statement that.
Yeah, the statement is, I like the way you did the house. Why would you add more to that little area? You're going to make it more confined. The way it is now, you got a nice piece of land. You have a beautiful house that's right there.
So you're asking why it's designed that way. Go ahead. Do you have an answer to that question?
I was just going to say this might be I would be happy to answer, but I just do the drawing plans.
Right.
So this might be a better question for the
It's a
applicant.
better
Fair enough.
question.
They're going to have another witness ask
Right.
that question, the next witness.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And there will be time for statements later. Any other questions?
Yeah, I may possibly have one.
Ask them. Go ahead.
When you made the decision to, or when the house was moved backward on the lot, did you, and I'm bringing this up so it doesn't come up later after this hearing. Did you consider 1306.05 the build to line?
The build to line is that what I called front yard averaging, or no?
Okay, and actually, yes, I guess it wouldn't be applicable to this because it's in the RS district. So, okay.
So
I withdraw my question.
No, that's fair enough.
Like I said,
I-
I was
I-
just trying to be.
No, and Mr. Taylor, that's a great question because this is a discussion that was Mr. Renko and I had and the homeowner about where to position the house. You'll see in some of the Google Map photos we have, some of the screenshots, you'll see houses that are set back further to that line, to that front yard line. We did it to avoid a request for yet another variance for this property.
Okay.
If the board wants us to move it forward, we would accommodate that.
Can I ask another question? So even with that setback, you'll have room for parking in the back?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess there's no parking relief sought. You meet the
Correct.
parking requirements in both lots.
Yes.
Any other questions?
You have another witness?
I do.
Thank you.
Please state your name for the record.
Linda Villani.
And are you the owner of 1431 Monocacy?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit. Let's use time as a guide here. This property was first developed under a city block map, correct?
Yes.
And if we look at Exhibit 7, this shows the intended development of this neighborhood, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And on here, we have marked, we have highlighted essentially the two lots. The one with the X, which is to the north, is the property that has the house on it now.
That is correct.
And then the one to the left, which is to the south, is the empty lot.
That is correct.
Okay. After looking at the city block map, did you go back and delve into the previous deeds for this property?
Yes, I did.
And you were able to determine back in 1899 that this was actually two separate lots.
In 1890, it was two separate lots and it traded 3 times up to 1899. I went through and read the deeds and you can actually see when there were two different owners and then one owner purchased the other and so forth and so on. And it goes all the way up until the date that I purchased it.
Okay. Now, you purchased this property and you were able to see how this property fit on these two lots. If we go to Exhibit 8, Mr. Taylor, please. These are different angles of this 1431, correct? This is straight on,
Yes,
showing 1431. And to the right on the photo is the existing house,
correct,
the empty lot, and then to the left is your neighbor.
correct.
If we go to Exhibit 8B, please. This is showing it more from the perspective of the neighbor, correct?
Correct.
And Exhibit 8C. This is closer to the perspective of the existing house that's there. So when we look at Exhibit 8C, we see that this house was built on the one lot that is noted on the city block plan with the X.
Correct.
It was not centered on both lots.
That is correct.
And when did you purchase the property?
I believe it was August 2025.
And what have you done with the existing house that's there since purchasing it?
I've done a full overhaul from plumbing, mechanical, electrical, insulation, windows, concrete, flooring, kitchens, bathrooms. I've done it all. It needed it, and so I did it.
Okay, so you've essentially renovated what is there in 1431.
That is correct.
And then you looked at the surrounding neighborhood, and what did you notice how would you describe this lot in this context of this street?
So after cleaning it up and making it presentable, it literally looks like a missing tooth. Walking down the street, it's a huge void in what is a beautiful street of diversity of different homes dating back from 1920 to 2008 that were built. So I noticed that, it needed something there, not necessarily a pool or a fence. It needed a structure of some sort.
And I should have asked this from the beginning. What do you do for a living?
I'm a real estate agent.
And so in doing this, you're able to determine some of the dimensions of the neighboring properties.
That's correct.
And if we look at Exhibit 4, this is what you've compiled for the 1400 block of Monocacy.
That's correct.
Okay. So if we start off, even though it's Greenwich Street, it's close to Monocacy. It's on the corner, correct?
Correct. So Greenwich Street is a parking lot owned by Moravian, which is a corner property of the first Monocacy property.
Okay. 1409 is also owned by Moravian, and that only has a total square footage of 3,900 square feet.
That's correct.
And a lot width of 31 feet by 129.
Correct.
And if we go down here to 1411, similar, 3,900 square feet, lot size of 29 feet by 129 feet deep.
Correct.
Right, and there's a twin home located on that property, correct?
Yes, correct.
We continue down 1431. You have labeled this as an end of a row home, and this has a square foot lot dimension or lot size of 2080 square feet, correct?
That is correct.
A lot width of only 17 by 129.
That's correct.
Continuing down 1415, similar, 1820 square footage, lot width of 15 by 129.
Yes, that's correct.
And an identical parcel at 1417 with the same dimensions.
That's correct.
1419 has a lot size of 2470 and has 17 feet by 130.
Yes.
1421 has a lot size of 3380 square feet,
Yes.
25 feet by 129 feet.
Yes.
1423 has a lot square footage of 3770, lot width of 31 by 129 feet deep.
Yes,
At 1435, 780 square feet, and has a lot width of 59 by 130. But
that's correct.
that is a different property as well, because it's a multifamily
That is correct.
dwelling on that property.
And that property is next door to my property.
Is right next door.
Correct.
1443 has a lot size of 780 and a lot width of 60 by 130.
Correct.
And that only contains a single family home.
That's correct. And that property is built in the middle of that lot.
Okay, so it's not set off when you had the city block map, whoever bought it purchased two of those lots and centered that on to the two lots.
Correct. And that building might have been built between 1940 and 1950 when they had started developing that neighborhood
Okay.
as the RT zone.
And if we go into here to 1447 Monocacy, square footage of 6890 and a lot width of 53 by 130. Also a single family home. Is that one also centered on
That
the lot?
is, yes.
1449 has a lot width square footage of 4810 and a lot size of 37 by 130. Single family home on that as well?
Yes.
Okay. 1455 has a square footage of 7,800 and 62 by 130. Again, is that property centered on the lot as well?
Yes, it is.
And if we continue down to 1467, that's a large parcel,
Those
correct?
are 4 parcels that were combined over time, if you look. And those owners I know very well, and they've done a fabulous job with their home, but they have,
And that's what we're seeing here.
that
on
is
here.
correct.
That's the corner lot. It is the intersection of Monocacy and Aurora, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And if we go on to Aurora, then we start hitting some commercial garages and units at 135 to 145 Aurora, right?
Yes,
Okay. There's also low-rise garden apartments on that.
that is correct.
If we come back onto Monocacy, 1454, we see a lot that has square footage of 6120, and then a regular lot width from 29 to 36 feet by approximately 175 feet deep.
That's correct.
1452 contains a twin home, has a lot of 6120, and a lot width, again, varying between 34 and 36 feet and approximately 174 feet deep.
That's correct.
1446 contains a 5-unit building on it,
Yes,
correct? And that has a lot square footage of 10,800 square feet and a lot width of about 61 to 62 feet.
that's correct.
1442 is a single family home, has a lot square footage of 5,400 square feet and has a lot width varying between 28 and 31 feet.
Yes,
1440 is a single family home, has a lot square footage of 5,400 and has a front lot width, or I'm sorry, a lot width varying between 28 and 30 feet.
that's correct.
Now you have 1434 has you noted as in an uninhabitable home. Has it been placarded in that condition?
It has been, I believe, but it looks like some renovations are starting. There's a temporary electric service outside, and I do see activity of the owners coming and making an effort to making that beautiful as well.
Do you know if that is a single family or multifamily?
I do not.
Okay. 1428 Monocacy has a lot square footage of 5,220 and a lot width of 29 feet, correct?
That's correct.
And the same for 1426 Monocacy.
Yes.
Those are two
Twin
halves
homes.
of a twin. 1442 Monocacy has a lot square footage of 5,220 square feet and a lot width of 29
That's correct.
feet. And again, the second half of that being 1420 Monocacy, the same dimensions.
That's correct.
1416 Monocacy has a lot square footage of 7,200 square feet and a lot width varying between 42 and 43 feet.
That's correct.
And then 1410, and the rest are Moravian University buildings and or lots.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if we look at Exhibit 6, these are screenshots of Google images that were taken back in July of 2024. And these show the properties that we have, some of the properties that we have referenced. And Mr. Taylor, if you would just go through them. Those are some of the twin homes that we discussed.
Yes.
Okay.
Across the street.
Yep. Again, other twin homes on the same block.
Yes.
Just look up
Adjacent.
there, yeah.
Yes, adjacent to our parcels.
Okay. That's another twin home against two twins next to each other.
Correct.
Okay. Similar, a more southerly depiction of the first two twins we looked at, right?
Correct.
And then that standalone for 1411, the two twins.
That's correct.
This is, you heard the gentleman ask the engineer about a house that was built before. Is this the house that was?
This might have been one of them. Yes, actually, after it looks like it was built after another situation, kind of like mine. I could not find a lot of information on that because it was just one owner.
Okay. And that's set back, looks like even more than 25 feet.
Correct.
Okay. And those are some of the garden style apartments that we addressed?
Yes.
Okay. The same here, other sets of twins sandwiched by the garden apartments.
Yes.
Again, looking at these two sets of twins head on.
Two sets of twins in an apartment building.
Okay, so to the right?
To the right is an apartment building.
Okay. And this is an overhead that we were looking at before. Are you able on this to locate the house that the gentleman was talking about that was built recently? I think you may have also, in our discussions, noted that it had a front driveway.
Yes, it's actually
To the north?
so it's to the north, and
Is it covered by the trees there?
it is. It's right after
Okay.
that swimming pool. It's more. It's actually. Yes, it's further south from the swimming pool, the first swimming pool right there. So I believe the one after that is the one that has a garage with an open driveway on Monocacy.
Okay. And that is of a recent build?
2008 they started or finished. I saw the transfer in 2008.
Okay.
I actually listed the adjacent property to that at one time.
Okay. And when we're talking about this, we're talking about this property being unique, correct?
That is very
What-
correct.
What makes this property unique?
Well, just the way it sits on the lot, the way it was built, it has a lot to offer.
So when you look at it, when you're talking about it, this is the property that's not centered in between the two lots.
Correct.
So you're asking for it to be divided so that it goes back to the two lots.
Correct.
And so when it was constructed, it wasn't constructed that those two lots become one development, one structure.
Correct.
There's no other property that reflects that style in this neighborhood, correct?
No, there is not.
There may be twin homes, but they're sandwiched. They're actual true twin homes
Correct.
where there's an adjoining wall between the two properties. So they don't sit centered on the lots, but they also conform to a smaller lot.
Correct.
You heard your engineer, you're looking to divide this into two 30-foot lots. And we just went through an exhaustive list of the properties here. There are many properties here that have 30 feet or less in lot width.
Correct.
and smaller lot sizes than what we're asking for here today.
Correct.
And when I started out, I talked about this neighborhood kind of being an anomaly because it doesn't really fit into the RS district.
It's kind of an island, actually, in between institutional and RT. And it has a lot of jogging going on. It's not a definitive line or a square or a rectangle. It's kind of to accommodate a high density zone, which is walkable, to enjoy what this area has to offer, which is restaurants and shopping and schools and retail, parks, recreation. So to me, this looks like an RT zone. And I did go back in reading some information. And in 2012, there was a whole rezoning of the entire city of Bethlehem. So this was one of the parcels. This little area here was one of the redevelopment from 2012, which they moved from RT to RS, which good, bad, not sure. None of the lots are conforming. And there was extra space in these lots that I'm sure that other homeowners and other investors looked at it and subdivided or made use, what was the best use, which was a single family home, I believe.
Okay. And so let's talk about what you're looking to put onto the property. You heard the dimensions that the engineer stated, and you're committed to building in compliance with the dimensions that are on the site plan and what your engineer has proffered here today.
Yes.
If we go to Exhibit 3, this shows the elevations and then the floor plans.
Yes. So I didn't rush this project. I probably could have came to zoning prior, but I didn't rush it because I wanted to make sure we had the elevations and everything in place before. So this plan was actually rendered a few different times, and we've pulled it, we've redone it, we've made sure that number of steps was going to work. We've gone out to the property several times. The architect worked closely with the engineer, with myself, with my husband. So we made sure that everything was going to work before we submitted it. And we feel this is the best use for this missing tooth space to put something tasteful in.
On this photo is a rendering. Is that a rendering of what you intend to develop onto this property?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Are you sure about that? Because that became an issue in the last hearing.
I am sure about that, right down to the windows and the placement that they match the inside and outside. So I went through the plan personally with the architect, and the first couple renderings, he had it incorrect, where windows were not falling in place of bedrooms, not falling in place of where we had them. I made him change them to make sure that the outside looks exactly like the inside. And from the renderings, they do, they match up.
Okay.
So they will be exactly like that.
And there was even a request that you extend and make a full front porch at one point in time, and
Yes.
you complied with that request.
I wasn't unsure of if I should do it or not do it, just because of how walking up and down the neighborhood, some have them, some don't, some are small, some are just stoops. I did want to put a full front porch on first, but then I thought, well, maybe that's not a good idea. But then after sitting with the rendering and looking at it, I'm glad I did, because it does aesthetically look like it belongs there.
And if we go to the second page of Exhibit 3, this sets out the floor plan.
Yes,
Now, you're looking to make this a single-family home,
that's correct.
okay? Not multiple apartments,
No,
just a single-family home on this property, correct?
correct.
And this is a layout that will fit into the rendering and the building envelope that we have presented in the site plan in the first page of this exhibit.
Yes,
And you're committed to building in conformity with what you have here.
yes.
How does this property fit into if permitted, to divide the property and to build here? How does this building fit into the surrounding neighborhood?
I think it would complement the surrounding neighborhood, being that it's a single-family home. It would draw families. It would give opportunity for a family to have a nice home to live in. And I have built other small little homes like this that I have families that stay 4, 5, 6 years and raise their families. Some stay 10. So I feel that this would be the best and highest use for this and no more.
Is there anything, now, the dimension of the lot as a whole, you didn't do, you bought this property as is.
Correct.
You bought the property with the existing dwelling there as is.
Correct.
You did not take down any structure on the proposed lot.
No.
So this was presented as is. You didn't create the dimensions of this lot,
No.
or the style in which the first house was built on just the one lot. Is there anything else you want to tell the board about the relief that you're asking for here tonight?
I think we covered pretty much everything. I feel that this would be an opportunity for either aging parents with adult children that care for them to have an opportunity to all live together, because that is what I see when I do have people coming from my apartments where they are there for so long and then they need to move either because someone had a baby or they need to take care of their mom or dad. And it gives an opportunity to have multiple different generations in one family over one roof that could help each other out, maybe watching younger children and taking care of the elderly as well. And I do have adjacent to that is a nice family, husband and a wife and a child, and they just had another baby. And they have her sister that comes and visits every now and then. So it's an opportunity for them to grow their family. I think that this would be a valuable asset to the other homeowners in the neighborhood, as well as the other renters.
I have nothing else. I would move my exhibits before I forget.
The board will accept the exhibits and we do see the board has.
Any questions from the board?
I just have a question about the existing home. There's outbuildings in the back there. Are you going to keep all the outbuildings and provide parking, or how's that going to work?
So the existing structure has a detached 2-car garage that was habitable, I guess, by the other owner. Since owning it, I have assessed it. It is not habitable. I only have electric back there. I have updated the electric. I did not finish it into living space. It is just storage because it cannot meet the structural code that we need it to meet. So,
But if I
just-
can,
ahead.
The question is, that structure will accommodate the parking requirements.
It does have 2 parking spaces for the current occupant of the home.
So I am puzzled by the decision of the planning part of the city back in 2012 to carve this out as RS. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It's an unwieldy fit. There's, zoning can be seen as aspirational. Maybe that's what they wanted this neighborhood to develop into. But it's, there's such a mixture of garden apartments and these tight twins. And it's just, and I would almost argue that the property you bought is like a little subset of that RS zoning that's actually RT, because what is the age of the property that you're renovating right now?
1920. And
Okay.
it's fully renovated as of 2025.
Okay. And my question was, do you know like when the building came down that used to be on this land, like what the history is of that?
There was never any building. There is currently a detached garage, one detached garage currently with 2 off-street parking spaces on that lot area. So there never was a building. It was just always a lot.
I wonder if the intent was to have a building there. I mean, we're not here to like adjudicate aesthetics, but what I would hope to see, and I know, I'm saying this more maybe perhaps for future projects, but like the building that you would put in would reflect the architecture, which I think is like Gothic revival with that centered peaked gable that it kind of mimics it, and they are at the same setback, because that is kind of what I think the planning authority was, or the planning board was thinking about when that zoning was made for the RT, is that we want uniform street fronts, and filling in this building would help speak to that. But of course, this is what you're building, not something different. But I do think that the zoning of RS for this carve out, I'm just so curious why that was chosen, because it just doesn't seem to fit very well with the existing architecture that's in there. 8,000 square foot lots and 25-foot setbacks. These
That's why
buildings
we
do not
went-
reflect that.
That's why we started out with that zoning map, to show how it's kind of an island by itself, and then went through painstakingly the lots in the neighborhood. Regarding the build to line, as stated, if it's this board's desire that it comes up to the adjacent buildings, the neighboring buildings, we would accommodate that.
I guess I didn't really have a question, so thank you for listening to me.
So when you bought the property, was the idea always to renovate the one and then to build the second, or was that an additional thought once you realized what the
So-
lot space was?
When I bought the property, I didn't really know what I bought, to be honest. I buy a lot of things sight unseen sometimes. And so when I started renovating it, I have over $300,000 in the renovation. That home that I renovated is probably worth about $550. That's what the insurance company is telling me to insure it as, is $585. So again, I think it would help offset some costs. Number one, if I could subdivide it and build a house and maybe get some more rent with a good family, that would be their longevity. That's my goal. But it was never my full intention until I started reading and taking down the one side tree that was up against the house and just trimming up all the brush and cleaning everything out. And then I realized, wow, I think this was a lot. And that's what triggered me to go back and start reading. And then I went to Attorney Scamilio and I said, could you please further investigate the deed and pull the deed for me 100 years back? I'd like to read it and see. And then from there, I went to engineering. I went to talk to people in the city, and just talking to people, you find out so much. There's so much knowledge with the people that are employed at the city of Bethlehem. So through that, I realized, hey, this probably would be better than this missing tooth looking property. And I probably could make something really beautiful here. So that was my intention.
Can I ask? I mean, I feel like one of the things that always is like a concern of mine is just like the affordable housing crisis, right? And I know that once again we've all talked about it tonight. Like everyone needs to make money, right? It is what it is. But like, what would this house? Because you're clearly renting it, right? It's not you're going to build one and then sell it to your.
No.
You're renting
I'd
both
like
of
to
them.
keep them. It's in a portfolio. I will tell you that my rents are below market value. From what I'm being told that people rent from me. The house currently that I rent is $2,500 a month, and it can stay like that forever as long as it floats the mortgage, because there is a mortgage on it. You can
Sure.
see that.
That's the one you just renovated.
I
Is
just right,
$2,500.
and I'm not even looking to recoup some of the investment because it's not possible to recoup all that investment at $2,500. So it would be similar. I'd probably have in this new build at least $450. That's what I'm thinking, because I did 1431 Monocacy, very nice, and they're very comfortable there. And just small little amenities, I think, helps longevity with tenants and not raising the rents. I understand the rent crisis. My husband and I own about 30 properties together, and then we have a few partnerships where we own some other properties. And I will tell you, our 2 bedrooms run $1,875, $1,600. We try to go based on need. We work a lot with New Bethany Ministries. We try to find people housing that are not able to rent a home because of credit or because of maybe an eviction or maybe a loss of a job or a birth of a child, things like that. So we really do take into consideration the applicants that come into us. And then some of them don't qualify by credit. We have a lot of people that don't qualify by credit. So we give them a chance. And New Bethany will work with them as well, where they'll give them the deposit, sometimes the first month's rent, and they have jobs and they make a go of it and they try. And that's all we ask.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Any questions from the audience? All right, questions?
Yep. Yeah, please reintroduce yourself. No, when you get to the mic, she can't hear unless you're at the mic. And again, this is not like a wind-up.
No,
speech.
no,
This
real
is
quick.
a question for her.
The way the block look now is not true. That vacant, the lot empty,
Question for her.
the lot that's there, we get our light in the morning from there. That automatically is going to block the light. Believe it or not, you have deers that go back there.
Again, it's got to be questioned.
We
Make
want to
statements
know.
later.
It's a quiet neighborhood. We like the way it is. Why you want to add something in that spot? It's been that way for years. I understand about the money, but money ain't everything. You understand? If I would have known, I would have bid on that house. I didn't realize it at the time. We just want to know. We like the neighborhood the way it is. We just want to keep it that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Answer the question.
Is it your intent to keep that neighborhood in the way it is with tenants that will fit in with this neighborhood and the
So the neighborhood has 50% renters, 50% homeowners. So I feel that this house would be appropriate for a renter. I do feel that that's the type of neighborhood it is. It's not a lot of homeowners. It's a lot of apartments. It's a lot of twins. It's a lot of cheap investments, 100,000, 160,000, 200,000, 220, and they're renting them for 1,800, 1,600, 1,875. So I've seen it come on and off the market through the multi-list that I belong to in the Lehigh Valley. I don't think it's predominantly homeowners, but I will take that into effect again, into consideration when I do my rental screenings. I think I do a very good job. I don't really have a problem with my renters at all. I attend to their needs. I make sure I provide quality housing. I make sure if there's a problem and they're disrupting other neighbors, that the neighbors have my phone number and they can call me. We have a large presence in the Lehigh Valley as a family, as a real estate family, and I think that there is a legacy that we're leaving behind of quality housing and builds.
Any other questions?
Again, you'll have a chance to make any statements. This is a factual question for this witness.
Hi, my name is Karen Carlin, Carolan, and I live at 1417 Main Street. Thank you very much for the very thorough presentation. You actually checked off quite a few of my questions. But you had said, as an adult child of an aging parent, you had said something about maybe having multi-generational family in that home. Does the floor plan encourage an elderly person to live in that house along with their adult children and possibly grandchildren?
So any home can be modified for ADA if they are wheelchair bound or they need assistance, as you know. The home itself will be built accessible with hallways and doorways wide enough for that situation. There's also a first floor master suite if there's an aging parent that needs to go there. And then there's also a lower level if there's an adult child or an aging parent that needs to go there as well. But everything will be wider doors, wider halls. I do try to build like that.
Okay, thank you. And I think the rest of what I have are comments. I'll be back.
You're welcome to look at the floor plan.
if you wanna
If you
see
want to
it.
take it.
she has them in the
Yep,
exhibit package.
okay.
All right, so
Any other questions from the audience? At this time, we'll take statements.
Yep.
You can make your
I was going to
statement.
say, if you may want to go all the way up there, so this is the chance if you want to make any statements for the record.
I didn't request the phone boards, just so you know.
Again, Karen Carlin. Missing tooth. That hurts.
I know.
So I don't see a problem with the greenery. It's kind of like the only greenery that's around there. We are surrounded by Moravian University that keeps coming in. And we like our green, we like our deer, we like the wildlife, that only patch. A big proponent to the green. Like I said, it's all we have. And to have that taken, it'll be sad. So that, I guess that's one of my biggest comments.
Thank you.
Oh, and in your care about matching porch, no porch. If this is approved, porch.
Okay. Good.
All right. Any other comments?
Again, I just want to say we like the way it is. Actually, one of the reasons we bought the house because of that. We like the openness. Across the street makes us feel like it's not congested. You know, and what you're proposing is going to make it seem like every other block. And that was one of the reasons we bought that house, because we didn't want to be like every other block. And we just asking that you take that in consideration, because once you put that in that spot, it's going to be like every other block. We don't want that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Just briefly, I think that the evidence presented to you tonight shows the character of the neighborhood, the uniqueness of this lot, and the minimum variances needed that are being requested by the applicant. We'd ask this board to take this into consideration. The history of the lot, I think, here is important. The location of this RS district as an island by itself is unique. We'd ask for your consideration for the variances requested.
All right. This time we'll go off the record.
Phones are on.
Okay, so the board has asked me to articulate a motion, and we'd like to confirm concurrence with this condition. And Attorney Scamillo, you may have deja vu.
Okay.
So it is motion to approve the variances as requested and amend it tonight, subject to the condition that the constructed structure be consistent with the exhibit presented to the board, the elevation drawing, with the inclusion of the porch. Is that condition acceptable to the would that condition be acceptable to the applicant?
Yes.
So with that, if the board would like to make a motion to approve subject to that condition,
So moved.
is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor?
Mr. Schneck,
Yes.
Ms. Wiles Young,
Yes.
Ms. Joseph,
Yes.
Dr. Van Wert,
Yes.
Mr. Walk.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously.
And for the neighbors, have you signed the paper? Please make sure if you didn't, make sure you did. We had that tonight, Dave, right?
Yes.
Please make sure you did because you'll get a copy of the decision in the mail. You'll get a copy of the notice on it. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll
I'll
go
split- I'll
half.
split it with-
pay
for
I'll split it with
I
you.
will
We'll go
double
half
check that
and
next time.
Love that.
You're not wrong, by the way. I've had that happen.
Before 8 o'clock.
While the board's still here, I'm down to 3 members for the 24th right now. So if Sharon, Danielle, or Pete aren't going to make it, please let me know. If anything crops up,
Okay.
let me know sooner than later.
All right.
24th of June.
Good so far.
24th of June.
We're doing the 10th, right?
Yeah.
That's
The
where
10th. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is there another meeting?
The 10th. June 10th.
Oh, I can't do that.
The briefing that we
Oh, that's all
hear
right, 'cause that's-
on the first terrace on the 10th, on June 10th.
On the 10th, we should be voting unless.
But I'm saying, do we have another?
No. You guys talked about doing a double stage at one point,
So,
depending on how the decision went.
Then you guys don't even.
is there?
Yes.
Is there a second application?
There is a second application.
So
Might not have.
the comment that we're off right now, right?
Yes.